Black Mountains are a stunning range of hills and peaks in southeast Wales. Their steep-sided slopes loom out of the landscape in an equally dramatic and beautiful fashion. But in amongst those peaks is a little strip of flat land, which is home to the Black Mountains Gliding Club.
The hills should remain clear in the early part of the afternoon, but there is a chance of the cloud coming down here to lower levels a bit later on.
The club started life, like many things, with a dream discussed over a pint. Farmer Derek Eckley owned the land and shared a passion with others for flying. And things took off. Today, around 90 members enjoyed the picturesque sight. Pilot Martin Brockington has always been fascinated by flying. He's also in charge of the tug, which pulls the gliders into the air to help them get airborne.
You're looking all the time for a method to stay up. You're either going to fly to the ridge lift, or you're going to look at a cloud and say, that's the one. You fly towards that cloud, and then you get that absolutely magic moment when you feel this surge of energy of the thermal, rising air going up into the cloud. You may be lucky to see birds that are already circling. You go into that, you feel the surge, and then woof, you bank into it, and whoa, yes. And then you keep that glider winding round until you're right up to cloud base, and then you say, should we find another cloud? Do it all again? And that is the magic of gliding. Perfect gliding conditions for here, I would say, and for most places, are a nice unstable air mass, plenty of sunshine, little lovely fluffy clouds with beautiful flat bottoms and a big strong thermal going up to them. When it does that, everybody's in the air.
The club is keen for younger members to join and have an inspirational ace up their sleeve with 14-year-old Amelia Richardson. You're the youngest member of the club. How on earth did you get into this?
Well, I've always been interested in aviation since I was little. I first flew to the Scilly Isles on a Twin Otter.
Wow.
And there was 2 little female pilots in the front, and that sparked something.
Now, why gliding in particular? What is it that's so special about it?
I did a powered flight back in 2018. It was a lot more expensive than gliding.
Your parents, I'm sure, were pleased to hear that.
I get the feeling of gliding. It's just you in the aeroplane. It's something very special.
Well done. Well done.
First landing at Tower.
Yes, first takeoff and first landing. I think I'd call that a first.
So where do you see yourself when you're older?
Well, I plan to finish school and put my application in for the RAF as a fast jet pilot.
Wow, I mean, talk about aiming high, but why not? Why on earth not? At the other end of the scale is Anne Pearson, with 18 years of experience.
Every flight is a little miracle for me because it's just something that we can't normally do, and yet we found a way to harness all this power that's in nature to get us up there, and it's a completely different perspective when you're up above, wherever you're flying, but in particular here, with the wonderful hills and views that you've got.
Something magical about being in a glider, which is very different to being in a plane, isn't it?
Yeah,
How does it differ?
Well, you have to find rising air because that's the only thing that keeps you up. Otherwise, you'll have to land. There's nothing else you can do. And the art is finding where the air's going up. Some days it's easy, some days it's very difficult. You're looking down on the world and you just think, this is glorious. This is amazing. I'm so glad I can do this.
Okay, so I'm suited and booted, or, well, I should say parachuted. And I guess it's the point of no return. It's quite a snug fit, actually, but I'm in. I'm a bit nervous, too. There's no going back. We're off. To allow us to fly together today, pilot Andy Sutton and I have both taken COVID tests and followed all safety guidelines.
Oh my God! So I'm staying low behind the toe.
Yes! Oh my God!
Nice and low.
Andy reassures me everything is fine. I think he might have to do this quite a few times.
You're all right, honestly. You've got the Black Mountains to your right now. You can see what we call the main ridge very clearly.
Yeah.
And then comes the heart-stopping moment when the tug lets you go solo.
Oh my God!
Okay, you're going to slow down a bit.
Nice going.
Thanks very much for your spirit.
Thank you. Without the tug in front, the ride becomes much smoother, as does my heartbeat. It's then that the beauty of the landscape casts its spell.
And that's Gospel Pass. So named because it's believed that St Paul came here preaching the gospel, accompanied by King Caractacus' daughter.
Gospel Pass is a 22-mile section of road from Hay-on-Wye to Abergavenny. It's also Wales's highest road at 549 metres.
So, would you like to have a little go?
No.
All right.
There's just time to see South Wales's largest natural lake in the distance.
So you can see Langdorse Lake underneath the tub, and to the left of it, Minneath It's a pyramidal peak. Langdorse is famous, it's got a lake monster, although it is famous some very, very big pike in there, so it's more likely they're not monsters, they're just very big fish.
I'll take your word on that. Oh, gosh, look at it.
It's also got a granite on it, which is a man-made lake dating from probably the 8th century.
Right.
The weather is against us a bit today, so it's time to return to the airfield.
There's a little bit of life on the hill here. Right.
Yes. Probably a good thing.
We're rolling.
Phew.
Loved every second of it. I didn't think I would, but I'm actually quite glad that my feet are back on the ground now.
So if I said, would you like to hop in and we'll go again?
No, you're absolutely fine. Thank you, though. Thank
Some
you.
other time, maybe.
Well, I take a moment to get back down to earth. Sean is with the wildlife, who are a bit more at home up there.